This is episode 50 with Shaman Durek. Every ounce of your being is made up of molecules of energy vibrating at different frequencies that determine your experience here on planet Earth.
This podcast's intention is to inspire you to elevate the vibration of your energy for yourself and for all of us. This is The Elevator.
Hop on in and ride into the ethers with Britt and Tara of Elevate the Globe.
You could just simply say, I love how the waters are getting cleaner. I love how people are becoming more conscious. I love how people are waking up and taking responsibility and not being so entitled and really honoring the earth and giving more love to the earth. And I love how the plants are getting healed from them. I love how the waters are getting healed. I love how there's healing happening in the water right now, that the water molecule of H2O is expanding with powerful healing energy. That is how you deal with anything that is an adversary against the light, because it's against the light, but you're not against it. And you give it love and you give it the truth and you give it light, and all of a sudden the light immediately goes into it. That's called dropping vortices.
We are so grateful for this episode's sponsor, by Erica Elizabeth, the amazing elixirs that we always talk about with you guys. And Erica Elizabeth has a new line out called the Feminine Flow line that we are absolutely loving.
Yes. So her adaptogenetic elixir blends are these beautiful herbs paired together so perfectly. Honestly, the way that she just designs these blends are so good for our bodies. Really, there's so much that goes into how she really alchemizes these blends. And overall, this blend, the Feminine Flow line, is specifically for women to really help people to feel better, to release symptoms of fatigue and insomnia, anxiety, digestive issues, and any inabilities that you may have to lose weight, just to name a few. So these herbs are very powerful, and we've been loving to use them in the morning. We've been using them in smoothies and also just as almond milk lattes. So
yeah, there's actually 3 new elixir blends in this line, and it's the Feminine Flow elixir, and there's the rose, and then the shatavari. And so they're all really, really working with the feminine body, really balancing out the hormones and nurturing the body and grounding as well. So all 3 are really, really cool. I love that they're available to us.
So true. Yeah. If you guys have not dived into herbs yet, or if you're not taking supplements or herbs in this way to really help with healing and activate your radiance and really how you're showing up in the world with having enough energy so that we can really show up bigger and brighter. So I love herbs so much. They're beyond powerful. And I've really been using this week the shatavari, and I've just been throwing it in smoothies. So my normal smoothies, I do a lot of, almond butters and different fruits and vegetables in my smoothies. And just throwing a scoop in there is so easy. And I've really noticed a big difference in my energy levels. And this is coming from somebody, you guys, that does not get much sleep. With Everest, my 2.5-year-old, keeping me up a lot. One night this week, I only got like 4 hours of sleep, but I was able to function at a pretty high capacity with taking these herbs and between the yoga and the meditation. So it's a really great thing to add into your morning practice, and they're all so beneficial. So really, check them out.
So head on over to buyericaelizabeth.com and you can use the code ELEVATE for 20% off.
All right, guys.
Shaman Durek's back.
Round 2. So if you guys have not listened to the first podcast we had with him, listen to it after this episode. But, we love Shaman Durek so much. He is such a great friend of ours. And, we're really excited for you guys to listen in on this really friendly conversation.
It was friendly.
Right? This is really just friends coming together and having fun. And it's really like you guys are kind of listening in as just having a night together and having fun. And it's really perfect for this Aquarius season if you're listening when this episode comes out, because we do get pretty wacky in this episode.
Yes. And Aquarians love to be a little bit wacky and out of the box and unique ways of looking at things and innovative and looking at, new perspectives of the world. And really that's what this whole episode will do for you. So we're really going into a lot of different ways into looking at things here on the planet. So just a little bit more about Shaman Durek. If you don't know who he is already, he is an evolutionary innovator. He is also a spirit hacker and a women's empowerment leader and human rights activist for global change. So he is just an awesome guy, and he has so much good insight and tools that he goes through. And it was such a fun night to be with him. You'll hear on the podcast, but we almost didn't get recording for a few hours. Almost didn't record the podcast. We couldn't get on the podcast. We kept talking.
We were just having so much fun.
We were. So
enjoy the show.
Enjoy.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We're here with Shaman Durek.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure. We almost didn't make it on because we were in friendship chitty chat for a while, but it's so nice that we actually got on air.
We tried 3 times to start this podcast. We're now finally doing it.
Right? We're like, okay, why don't we just talk about this on the podcast? But Queen Elizabeth.
We really had to go into that discussion.
It's so good, though. I love period piece films, and I love to know about our history and why. How did we as human beings, come to be in our behaviors and what we think is acceptable when it comes to valuing life or not valuing life?
I know that is a very deep question to ask, I feel.
It is.
And it didn't actually happen. Like we were talking about in the past, how that actually there was no value on life, or at least little value of life, or it was in our minds regarded as like this like thing that you give for other people so easily, and people would easily take it from you.
I have a very clear understanding what I feel from my own perspective of reading a lot of history, especially European history and Nordic history and all of this. And what my take is that I look at it from the understanding of women being oppressed, because women are the only ones who hold the life code in their body, right? Because they're the ones who can bring life into this world, which is a huge honor, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, right? And you go back into like some of the old books, and you get into like Lilith, and you get into the story of like, the Adam and Eve, which is like the Eva Gomorrah and the Adam Kadam. And you get into the real story of like what really happened, right? And we look at the fact that women were the ones who were granted the life-bearing seed in their vessels, in their spiritual vessels, because they were the ones who were willing to see outside of the place of the dimension where they were, where everything was given to them and everything was provided for them. They wanted to see themselves and realize, like, what am I really? And that was the whole idea about the forbidden fruit. But the whole fruit was a test to see if they were worthy enough to choose that fruit. And so, of course, the way religion has made it now is religion has made it like Eve was this evil woman who ate this apple and then gave it to Adam and then screwed up the whole entire thing. And that's why we're all fucked, right? But the truth of the matter is...
Goddamn Eve.
But the truth of the matter is Eve did us justice, right?
Thank you, Eve.
Thanks, Eve.
Right? And that's why women have so much power, because look at, women have the ability to see quantumly. Women have the ability to bring life. Women have the ability to have constant orgasmic pleasure. Women have the ability to have a stronger, more developed amygdala that can sense danger. Why? Because women were the ones who were saying, you know what? As much as I have this paradise, I come from the creator source. I want to see myself myself as the creator source. And in order to do so, I have to eat that fruit. And that's where the snake represents Lilith, and it's the all-giving wisdom, right? And so that allowed women to be blessed by the spirits by saying, hey, you chose first. And so therefore you get to bring life. You get to have all of these gifts and these powers. So you will be the steward of life. That means that's why women can see danger, because they're here to protect us, and women bring life so they can continue to multiply us, and they can bring understanding and wisdom, and they can bring guidance, and they can bring nurturing and love. And so that's all these beautiful things that women can do. And so when you cut that out of the equation, what do you have? You have men who are afraid of feminine energy, so they can't feel. So they have no sensorium, with their ability to feel someone else's pain. They have no synthesis, their ability to connect with everything that's around them, including their environment, including other people, including animals and nature. And so what happens is you become void of the empathic response of someone else's pain. And so therefore pain to you is nothing. So the value of someone's life is nothing. And so how easy it is for you to disregard the value of life because you don't know the value of life. That's the difference between a woman who sees a butterfly and holds it and looks at the brilliance of its color, whereas a man will pull off its wings because it doesn't have that feminine energy fully matured in them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah. Wow. There's so much that you just said. I'm like,
I very much understand it clearly, and it just flowed. Right
Avocado break.
I think we're done here.
Processing. Wow.
But no,
yeah.
it's true. I mean, and
Yeah.
I think what's happened in society is right now what's happening is, and this is where, because I look at it from African culture, I look at it from, where my family's from West Africa and from the, being from Ghana, and also being a part of the Mandinka, Yoruba and Mbutu tribe, which is from my ancestors. I look at, how people are seen and their cultural understanding, and, gay people, homosexual people, right? We don't see them as homosexual. We see them as the bridge of our DNA. So we look at them as a gatekeeper. They're here to piece together the imbalance between masculine and feminine, but the dark energies and the system knows that. So that's why it created no support system for them. So that's why they're out of whack and out of sync, and they're just preying off of each other, judging each other and ridiculing each other instead of embracing their gifts and their love to be able to bring harmony back to the masculine and feminine, to take care of the responsibility of children that have been put up for adoption, that people keep making babies, but no one's taking these babies, and overpopulation is happening and no one's really looking at it. And before you know it, we have desertification, which is happening right now.
Yeah.
The frying pan effect is happening. That's why we have the crazy fires in LA. And we have no trees creating enough fluffy clouds. And when you don't have that, your heat is going up. And so what happens is we're going to start having human migration. The refugees is just one of the small things that we're dealing with. The human migration, because they can't make food from the land that they live on, and they want to go to a land where they can eat. And then people, of course, are so stuck in scarcity and fear that another culture is coming in and taking their resources. So then what happens? We create civil wars, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to become much more adept at compassion and acceptance and learning how to soul group, because soul grouping is going to be our future. You're not going to be living at home with your mom, dad, and your children, and that's it. There's going to come a time where you're going to have to invite people into your home for us to survive. And we have to start looking at these things and stop pretending like they don't exist, right? And putting our heads in the sand, which isn't helping anything. And I think what women offer is women are able to look at the bigger picture, whereas men, we always look at like what we're doing and how we're accomplishing and what we're getting for that accomplishment. And that's because we haven't fully matured our feminine nature. We're doing it, but it's a process. But the language between men and women still has to come from a much more gentler, more nurturing, loving place on both sides, so that there can at least be a conversation, so we can start merging our masculine and feminine energy and create the fifth dimensional element.
Okay. I feel like you literally just touched on every single question we were going to ask you.
Oh, really? No bad days.
That we wrote down. In the car, we're like, okay, we want to talk about this, and this. And yeah, that was all of them.
Autopilot.
But I think it would be cool to go back to the homosexuality and just like, I've never heard it in the way that you just talked about it, but it makes so much sense as far as like why we're at the place that we're in with in humanity right now, and how so many people are here to help in so many ways that you talked about, like with the children that need to be adopted, and just with the merging of the feminine and the masculine and all of it. So I want to hear a little bit more about.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at it from a very scientific point of view, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If we look at understanding of the system of Earth, right, in the biosphere, and how we operate within the animal kingdom, there are amphibious animals that will change their sex as a way to adapt and to keep evolution going, right?
Yes.
So certain animals will change their sex, so that way they are not continuing to procreate, or they have to procreate. So they change their sex into that which they can. And that's already in our DNA. If you look at most frogs and amphibious creatures, they have a DNA, culture that allows them to be able to change their sex as according to the evolutionary process. And that happens with just in the natural environment. That's just nature, animals, and so forth, right? Well, you have to understand, we've been fucking with the nature code for so long. And this is why people have so many allergies and so many fucked up shit going on in their body, because we keep thinking it's okay to keep messing with the nature code. We change the nature code by changing our food and the way we process our seeds. We change the nature code by constantly messing with our bodies and putting things and pumping things into our food and doing all of these things. And so what's happened is that, we're not looking at all of the different components, changing the nature code and human population. Most people have babies nowadays because it's trend, it's rad, it's amazing to like have this amazing baby on your Instagram all dressed up with its cute little stroller. And it's super cute for the dads to walk around with their cute little babies in the stroller. That, like if the hot celebrities are doing it, everyone's got their little baby boomings going on, right? So you might as well just get yours too, right? So no one's really thinking about the process of what it means to bring a human being to Earth at this time with all the stuff that's happening on the planet. First off and foremost, do we need more babies on the planet? No. Do we need to have a family that's making 5 and 6 babies? No. Because there's so many orphanages. I know because I've worked in orphanages, and I have a lot of gay friends who are couples who have been adopting children after children after children because they are not going to be making children unless they do a surrogate and so forth. But most of them want to take the children that's already been created.
Yeah.
We have so many children who are overfilling the orphanages that they're ending up on the street, getting addicted to drugs, becoming homeless. And if you go to Brazil and other countries like third world countries, second world countries, they're being murdered by the hundreds because of the fact that people just can't stop fucking and making babies. It's like pull out, wear a condom, or do something, but start thinking about the overpopulation crisis, which will happen within the next 8 to 9 years.
Yeah.
Which is then this is just basic math that I've gotten from a lot of my friends who are scientists. And also in shamanism, we talk a lot about it as well in the way we think about anthropology and really looking at how we're adapting in our lives. And then sociology is how we're operating within each other's, spectrums of, how do we observe our cultures? Like a lot of cultures in Muslim culture, for instance, are known to have a lot of children because they want to have big families that they can carry on this bloodline. And Latin families do the same. So there's a lot of different families who are doing the same. But the thing is, the question is, 1, are you having children because it's on trend? 2, are you having children because it's cute for your pictures, which is also on trend. So let's put that as 1. And 2, the reality of it is are you creating the resources and the environment for that child to develop into a leader of legacy? Are you giving your child what it needs to be a leader, or are you just having children so you can keep your bloodline strong? And there's going to come a point in our history, not in our history, but which we've learned from our history, which the bloodline of the individual in the future is not going to mean anything. What's going to be mattering, to be the thing that matters the most is going to be about how do we thrive on planet Earth without degrading ourselves, not our planet. Because look, I'm going to just drop it like it's hot. You can't fuck with Gaia. I don't care how you want to twist it, shift it, change it, rearrange it. You can't fuck with Gaia. Gaia's got her own program. If you fuck with that shit, she will throw you off and you will be done. That's it. It'll be no more humans on Earth, and Gaia will turn into ice and come back again, and trees will be blooming, and new animals will be forming, and new cells will be migrating and having change to create new different types of forms of animals based upon her environment that can survive in different organisms, and we won't be here.
Yeah, like we won't kill her; she'll kill us first.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like keep fucking with your mom and see how much she's gonna swallow you.
Yeah,
she's gonna
swallow you.
My mom would kill me
Like, let's not play. Like, don't mess with the mother.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
You know
mess
what I
with
mean?
mom.
Like, don't mess with mom.
Mhm.
So the thing is, like, why are we messing with mom? We need to be finding ways to eliminate these things from happening. And the only way we can do that is to really start being sensible and start using our brain, right? Because we have an amazing brain that we're not even using full capacity of, right? And how do we create a social collective that is about thriving as human beings on earth, not just about what's hot, what's cool, and like, oh my God, I have a new baby, check out this sweater.
For sure. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Just saying.
No, I love it. And I love that you're having this conversation on this podcast right now, because, you know, from an astrology point of view, Uranus is in Taurus for the next couple years. And so this whole topic is really, it is super hot right now because the energy is available. And so there is a lot of discussion now, or if not, or we're seeing more of it, I feel like, about how we're treating Earth and different ways to not, you know, just be so abusive to her, and different inventions and different things like that are going to be starting to come out. People are starting to be more interested in not trashing the planet, not because it's like, because we're not going to be able to live here. And I think people are starting to really feel it.
It's not a question.
It's not a question. It's like, oh God, actually, I shouldn't be drinking those plastic water bottles at all.
I mean, I just got back from a conference with Elon Musk and Richard Branson. I was invited by my friend Dave Asprey, and it was like all the billionaires and all of the major moguls in the world sitting down in this boardroom voting on our future. You know, voting on the type of technology they're going to put their money into and the types of things that they're going to create to remove emissions and, you know, to really clean up our waters and deal with the plastic crisis. Because even in LA right now, a lot of people are recycling. They have no idea. We have no place to dump that recycling.
Yeah.
It's sitting on barges. We have no recycling.
No.
China, we lost our rights to China. Okay. So now we're trying to make more rights with another country, and no one wants our trash.
Yeah.
So they're sitting out on barges in the middle of the ocean. And so you don't see them, but they're sitting in these big containers, all of our trash. And like just the other day, I was emptying stuff in the trash and I was like, wow, there's no place for any of this stuff to go.
Yeah. So crazy. I even see the trash trucks. They don't even put them in different trucks, the recycle and the trash. No. Even though they're in the different colored cans, they don't even put them in different trucks.
No.
It doesn't matter. It's not, there's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah. And that is because we are consumers. We consume and consume and consume. Think about it. How many people in Christmas bought their kids all a bunch of toys, right? Most of those toys they bought were probably plastic and made with chemicals and different types of materials that are bad for the earth, which are going to become what? Landfill? Not really, because there's no place to put the landfill. So where are they going to go? In our ocean?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, why aren't people just buying one gift for their kid? And then so that their kid can learn how to appreciate that one gift instead of believing when they grow up that the only antiquation of their value of love and protection is based upon how much they can consume and accumulate.
So true.
Which is why we have this big thing about, you know, children, because people use kids as a part of that accumulation. They sum up the sum total of what they have as far as their cars, their homes, their money in the bank, how many kids they have, and what they're associated to as far as social activities, as what kind of school they go to and all these different things, which has become such a big focus. And it's unfortunate because people don't realize that none of those things will matter as much as entitled as you want to be and think that Whole Foods is always going to be there and that the favorite place that you always go is always going to be the same way. If we don't make changes, those changes are going to be made for us.
Yeah. I've been feeling that personally. Like, instead of getting stuck in the like, oh, I'm 33 and I don't own a house and I don't have a kid and I'm not married, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm like, I must not be doing that well. It's like, that is such a lie.
Yeah.
Like, that is the biggest lie anyone could ever say to themselves. And it's like, why do we, and it starts to make me question, like, where did this all come from? Why are we so limiting to ourselves that's the only thing to attain on the planet? Like, why? Because like, if you think about it, it's like, because this was my mind a few years ago. That was the ultimate goal. Like, I guess I didn't think I was worthy enough to do anything more.
Right.
And I couldn't even imagine what it was. So I didn't really think about it. So it's like, why did we do that? It's like
it's a safety mechanism. Yeah. And remember, we live in a very make and take mentality of society, right? So do you know the whole make and take method? Okay, so...
Do you, Brett?
I know.
Okay,
I don't know.
So make and take basically is you work for the system, you make money, they create situations to make so they can take it from you. So it's a make and take behavior, right?
Yes,
So it's
okay.
like you work for it. And instead of buying the things that you actually really need in order to improve your evolution and create more harmony and peace and well and nurturing and wellness in your life, you get sucked into the billboards, the magazines, the television shows, what the Joneses are doing next door, and what everyone else has, what everyone else is doing, where everyone else is spending their money, and you begin to go into the very make and take mentality, which is you make the money and you give it back to them. You make it and you give it back. You make it and you give it back because it's the make and take. You make it, they take it. And right?
Make it take.
Make it take. It's a make it take mentality. Make it take. You know the make it take mentality?
I was like, I can kind of figure this out, so let's go there.
As I'm sitting on my horse right now, I'm going to give you the make it take mentality.
That's what it feels like. It's a
It
little
is,
like,
though. It's like this programming, though. Like everything that you're saying, it's like even I buy wood toys because it's like, you know, I'm trying to do anything that I can. And
You're doing, not trying.
I'm doing. And it's considered so bizarre by so many people around me. They can't understand what this even means or why I would ask for not to have plastic toys. I mean, I was reading this article about like what you need for your kid to actually thrive in like 2050. And it's nothing that's happening right now.
Nothing.
So it's just very interesting how people are not really on board yet.
Well, they're not even on board, but they don't even realize that they're creating what is called a distorted synthesis with their kid, which basically creates a pattern in exchange based upon the things that they have. So it makes their kid actually start developing things like ADD, you know, and stress and like, you know, imbalances within their mental process, which can lead to bipolar and a lot of different things because they start to bring an awareness to things that are not necessary and then protect themselves from that experience and then creates the bipolar, which is a pendulum swing of, I don't know how to self-preserve myself to now I need to go and get all my power back that I gave away, or ADHD, which is I'm going to continually be, my energy is going to be constantly engaged because of the fact that the synthesis that my parents built me is built on the idea that I have to always be doing something in order to have some value or importance, right? And so the mind is constantly busy. Now, no one wants to look at this shit. No one wants to look at it, but as a shaman, I have to look at it because I can't just sit back in my willy-nilly bed, you know, with my pillow and just be like, oh yeah, everything's cool, man. It's all cool. Yeah. Let's smoke a doobie. No, it's not going to happen. Right. So the thing is like what I sit back and do when everyone's out there partying and doing their whole like Happy New Year celebration and getting liquored and poisoning their liver. I'm at home drinking a cup of tea and being like, what the fuck? And how are we going to rectify this shit?
Yeah.
And bring a consciousness or collective consciousness about it so that we can talk about it as a family and then start putting our heads together, our resources together, and our abilities to say, first key to any change is education, right? Once education is had and people get pumped and lit on that education, then how do we begin to start shifting and changing those things? It's the same. It's the same behavior that everyone had when they made a decision in California and a lot of other places where they didn't want to smell cigarette smoke anymore. Right? It's like, okay, I don't want to smell cigarette smoke anymore. Secondhand smoke kills. It's like, and everyone just kept talking about it. Secondhand smoke kills. Secondhand smoke kills. Secondhand. That's a tongue twister. But then the point I'm making is that all of a sudden it became so collectively, spoken about and educated that it literally had to the system had to change it. Right?
It couldn't stay anymore.
It couldn't stay anymore. And that goes for a lot of things. If you look about it in our society that we used to be okay with, but we're not anymore because how it's affected us. Why aren't we doing that in other levels? And it all comes from us not putting our heads in the sand and burying our head in the sand and acting like it's going to go away because someone's going to fix it because that's all entitlement. But it's about how are we going to actually step up. We don't have to step up by throwing money down and building some organization. Stepping up is just being aware and sharing with people like, hey, how can we live in a much more loving, responsible way that doesn't just support me as the me, to the we, which is all.
Okay.
Yes. That's all it is. Just simple awareness.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I know. And that's the funny thing because it's not.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. Like, take your entitled ass. If you leave a cup and you go to Whole Foods and you leave a cup, okay, there's no one who works for you who's picking up your cup unless you have an assistant who follows you behind every single day and picks up your trash. Take that trash and throw it away. No one's here to clean up after you. And it's the same thing, like, on every level of your being. Like, just because you get in an Uber car, that's not your driver, okay? You're not paying them a $500, $6,000 salary a month. That person is exchanging services while they're going to school, or they're building their vocation, or they're learning, or they're building their business, or whatever it may be. They want to put extra change in their pocket. Stop treating them like your driver. Check your behaviors when you get into the Uber or whatever the other one is called, Lyft, or any of these types of mobiles. Because I hear all the time when I'm in Uber, wow, you're such the nicest guy, Shaman Durek. The people I pick up in my car are so mean to me, and this and that and the other. Why? Because they're entitled. They think they get in the car, that's their servant. No one's the person in a restaurant, you know their name. That's a human being who's giving you food. They're not your servant. They don't work for you as your butler. This isn't Batman. You're not walking around with Giles going around and picking up your things, okay? You know what I'm saying? People play all day. They do. They'll be like thinking they got like a butler going on and stuff. I'm like, you're not even gonna say hello to the girl who's serving you food. I'm like, what's your name? She's like, my name is Ashley. I go, Ashley, I really appreciate you taking the time to serve us. Doesn't matter if we're paying you. We're not paying her. We're paying the restaurant that's creating that.
Right.
Honor and respect.
Right.
Honor and respect. Boom. Necessary function.
I feel like this, well, and that's just also being compassionate. It's like seeing that everyone else, no matter what they're doing, is the same. Everyone is the same. Yeah. The homeless man on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm. Give him Reiki healing.
Yeah, he's exactly the same, or she's exactly the same as the damn billionaire sitting in the table that you were, or that room where you were in, wherever you were. Same thing.
With Elon Musk.
100%.
Same. And
the animals.
And the animals too.
The refugees.
Everything.
Everybody. Yeah, everything.
We're all in this together, you know, and we can't act like this separatism and this divisiveness because the system wants us to be divisive so they can pick us off one by one. The revolution is here. It's not coming. It's here. And in order for us to be able to step fully active in that revolution, it means that we have to keep building more intimate relationships with people. More intimate relationships means what? More touch, more hugs, more conversations. You know, I'd rather have a moment where I'm getting a great conversation, like before we started getting on this podcast, right? How we were just all hanging out as family time. How much fun was that?
So I know we didn't really want it to stop.
Yeah, I mean, we kept cycling back, being like, we should get on the podcast. Okay, we should get on the podcast. Hey, we get on the podcast. We're going to be here till like 5 a.m. You were like, we don't care. I'm going to be like, honey badger don't care.
No time and space.
The podcast didn't happen because we were just having family time. But the reality is, why do we love it so much? Why do we love it? Because we love being with each other.
Yeah.
Right? And we love that energy. And there's so many people who yearn for that energy and they can have it as well. Mm-hmm. And I think the first key for us to take this whole divisive system down is to not let them make us divisive. Right? To say no to it, to disagree with it, to truly step into like what Martin Luther King said, which is sisterhood and brotherhood, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's really bringing the universal family and removing the labels and getting into a place of mental shift, which is I accept you as you are, as you choose to be, wherever you are in your evolution, however you choose to observe God, however you choose to practice your spirituality, whatever it is for you, however you choose to be, I'm going to love you and accept you as you are. And therefore, we're creating a greater awareness of consciousness that allows us to come together. Because once we come together, that's when change starts happening. That's when the conversation starts happening. They know that if they create a divisiveness within the social structures by socializing us against each other based upon color, race, sexuality, and any of these other things like men versus women, gay versus straight, and God, you know, the list goes on. I don't need to go through the whole patterning of the list that I can see. Mm-hmm. The thing I'm saying is that as long as they get us to focus on that, you know, it's kind of like it blinds us from the reality of what's most important, which is connection.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for whatever reason, like so many of us all have such good intentions, but then you see it happening in so many groups. Like you said, like even people who have good intentions being vegan, you know, find the anger and the separateness somehow, or like wellness. I do this kind of yoga. You do this kind of yoga. It's like, I feel like there's good intentions, but actually executing it for whatever reason sometimes gets fucked up.
Yeah, no bad days. Yeah, I mean, you have that cup on the table, no bad days, and it's pink. I love it. It's amazing. And it's pink and blue is my favorite colors. And I just keep saying that because I was thinking about what you just said. And yeah, it's no bad days. It's the whole idea of do you, I do me, we love each other, we're free, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like for me, for instance, I was vegan for many, many years, right? And then all of a sudden I was like going to the grocery store and my head started turning and turning. Every time I walked past the dairy section, I saw goat milk and I would look at it. I hear this little voice in my head be like, I need that goat milk. And I'm like, no, you're not going to get it. And I would like pass by. And I'm not talking like 1 or 2 times or 3 times. I'm talking like every time I went to the grocery store, my brain and my eyes would focus. And you know, it's really funny because I can always tell what my spirit is actually focusing on is where my head or my eyes are looking at.
Oh.
Like, so if I start looking at something, I just immediately pay attention and bring awareness to it. Cause I'm like, well, obviously you want me to look at that. So what is the purpose of me looking at that? Right.
Yeah.
So I've seen the goat milk. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm spending a night at my friend's house and I'm in the room and I just bought some goat milk and I'm sitting in the bed. I'm tossing and turning and I hear this voice go, get out of the bed and get that goat milk. So I go down the hallway, I open the refrigerator and it's chugga lugga 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 lug. Right? Like I felt like I was one of the characters in Vampire Diaries or like one of these vampire shows where they're like ravenous, you know? I mean, I think the milk was falling down my face and running into my shirt. And you know me, I like my rock and roll shirt. So I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. This could be in a music video or something. You know, it's like trending. You know, ravenous milkman. Right.
At like 3 a.m.
You know, like I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And my friends were like, what happened to our goat milk? I'm like, guilty.
You didn't take an Instagram picture.
And I should have really, because that would have been it. So then I realized, wow, I'm not vegan anymore. I'm cheating. I'm a cheating vegan. And it was actually my assistant who came up with the idea. He's like, you're cheating now. And I'm like, okay, cheating vegan. He's like, that's right. But the thing is, what was interesting was the fact that I felt bad about it for a little bit. And then as I'm looking at your cups, like no bad days, right? It's the whole idea of the consciousness of, should I feel bad about it? Or is it because my body's asking for it and I love myself so much, I gave it to my body. So I asked my body, like, what do you need from it? And it basically was like, I need this for a while to get you back in balance because you're burning out way too much energy. You're not getting what you need. I need this goat milk. Okay, fine. Got it. Cool. We're cool. We're square. Right. And ever since then, I felt amazing. Now, do I eat meat? No. Will I eat chicken? No. And will I ever eat those things? Hell nah. But and I know, and I don't have to, people say, well, that could be hypocritical because I can be hypocritical in the sense when it comes to my food. However, that's never going to be hypocritical for me because that's not something I need to put in my system. However, being a vegan with my goat milk and my feta cheese is working for me right now.
Yeah.
And I see people who will bust their ass and do all these kind of things. Like, I got to do yoga. Oh my God. I got to do this thing. I got to be vegan. I got to be this, I got to be that. Because why? Because it's the socially correct thing to do. And as I've told people all the time, good gets you an apple pie, whereas the truth gets you the kingdom. And if people have heard this, we say that a lot. And the reason why I say that is because that whole good shit really is just bullshit. Right? It's like trying to be good or trying to be truthful. Like not even trying, being truthful versus being good. Okay. What are the benefits of being good? Okay. Being good, you get liked, you get accepted. People like you and they like you on Instagram and they like you on Facebook.
Oh, you sound so boring.
It's kind of boring. It's like, oh my God, yay, you're so good. You know, it's like, you're so good. You're such a good person. You missed that person who you could have been in love with. You missed that adventure. Like you didn't go into that thing because, you know, you're trying to be so good. Whereas like being truthful is like connecting with yourself, right? It's connecting with me. It's connecting with you. It's like connecting with everyone around you and just being straight up. Like, you know, here is, you know, the authentic aspect of who I am. Take it or leave it. I don't really give a shit because I'm not doing it for you anyway. I'm doing it for me. And that benefits you because by me being honest and truthful and authentic, then you get to be honest and truthful and authentic. And before you know it, we've got billions of people on the planet who are willing to be honest and authentic without the need to be good because authentic and truthful allows them to live a better life.
Well, and a more rich life.
Yeah, a more rich life.
It's so much more full and happy and exciting and passionate
and orgasmic.
Yeah. Like all the things.
Yeah. But I feel like the difference is like the level of consciousness that you bring. So you are a very high conscious being that obviously is educated and has wisdom and understands like what eating chicken and meat and dairy on a global level, you know, in the masses is doing to the planet. And like, that is what your choices are made, you know, because, and then you listen to your body and then you're connected to the spirits and you're hearing a message of what your body needs and you're listening and being truthful. Like, it's so different than what so much of the world is doing with the mass consumption of meat and dairy that's gotten us in the place that we're in. So to me, it's like, I would trust every single person if they were in high consciousness, making whatever decision was right for them. And that's what I hope for, because at that point it's like, yeah, drink your goat milk. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But when everybody doesn't have high consciousness and we're just making decisions from this low conscious place, then that's when it's like mass destruction. And that's when it's like, yes, we need to activate for being vegan because the whole planet is dying if people don't understand any of the reasons why. You know, I don't know. It's just, it's very different.
Exactly. It's the whole consciousness I have towards women. It's the idea, like the whole reason why I tell women my whole like word for them is you first. It's the consciousness of the fact that if you're so extreme in one area, right, then you're actually causing destruction and chaos in another area.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so in order to like be able to bring balance into any situation, it's about observation of all of them, right?
Yeah.
And embracing them and not like making one greater than the other. And I think that's what's happened in society is that we keep trying to figure out, and I say trying because I mean exactly that, because that's all we're doing is trying, you know, because we're so focused on the symptoms of life, just like the allopathic doctors are. We're not looking at the source. Because we're too caught up in the symptoms. So everyone's just like symptom. And it's like, it doesn't do anything. It's like someone said to me once, you know, oh, I can't believe you didn't put like a Black Lives Matter on your thing. I'm like, all lives matter. Life matters. How about that? They're like, yeah, but Black Lives Matter because, you know, we've been through a lot as Black people. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. But you're stuck on the symptom, baby. You know, I mean, like let's call it what it is. I love you. Yeah. And I love our people. I love melatonin. I love being melatonin magic. I love being that chocolate brown skin lover. But I'm going to tell you this, in the truth of the truth, that is a symptom. And that's what allopathic medicine focuses on, symptoms. That's what we focus on in our social structure, symptoms. We're not looking at source. What is the source? Our source should be, why do we think it's okay to kill another human being? Oh, there's an interesting thing, says the little bunny. I do believe so, said Mr. Bear.
Oh, like, can never keep a straight face. It's like so impossible. Oh, you do that.
You know, I mean, seriously. I mean, like, we're focusing on symptoms. Symptoms. We're not focusing on the big issue, like what is wrong with our species that we think it's okay to disregard life and kill another human being, degrade another human being, poison another human being, and like, you know, and do all these things to another human being and not think we're doing it to ourselves. It's like, it's crazy. It's almost like people really actually think that people around them is not them. They don't realize that the big ha-ha moment, and not the aha, but the ha-ha, right? Because everyone can have an aha moment. Shit, you can have an aha moment in the bathroom, okay? While you're letting couple in the pool. The point I'm making is the big ha-ha moment, right? Which is the ha-ha moment, right? Is the fact that you're going to find out that we're all one source embodied in different bodies. So every time you do something to another person, you're actually doing that and saying that's okay to be done to you. So when you die, you actually have to look at the fact that you did that to yourself. So if you're going to poison the food and poison people, you're poisoning yourself and you're poisoning all the things, because we are everything. I am the tree, I am the flower, I am the sun, I am the moon, I am the stars, I am the rock, I'm the grain of sand. I am every single animal, every single beetle, every single insect, every single person. And reverence and devotion to that is why I love incessantly, without stop, without pause, just ongoing, unconditional.
Yeah.
Ha-ha! That's the ha-ha.
The big ha-ha.
That's the big ha-ha. Get ready for your big surprise, y'all. Get ready. Get ready, because my grandfather had it, my grandmother had it. They all had their ha-ha-ha-ha moment, because the veil gets lifted from you and you get to see all the nonsense that you were actually putting your energy into could have been better yet spent, creating more value in connections with people and the love and connection that you have, not with your blood family, but with your universal family. Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Universal love family. I mean, you know how many people on other planets are waiting to connect with us, but they can't because we keep killing our own people. Yeah, what's that? Oh, no one wants to focus on that. Everyone wants to focus on the symptoms. The symptoms. You don't go to the doctors and they're like, okay, well, this is the reason why you're sick. Here's the source of it. No, we're just going to focus on getting rid of the symptom and really hope that it doesn't come back, but we know it will. So we'll make sure we keep you, in our files because we'll be seeing you in 6 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Well, and I think that's why everything's getting so much more intense. It's like you can't just do symptoms anymore. It's like it's getting slapped around. Like, look at it.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting your head like pointed like a dog in its pee, pretty much.
Oh,
like,
straight up. You're getting pip slapped.
It's like it's getting painful for some people because they're like refuse to look. And it's like, just smell the goddamn thing and look at it and change it and fix it and stop it.
Seriously. Seriously. It to me, I think it's fascinating, that people don't realize that the most important thing is not your Bentley or your Ferrari. It's the ability to share connection with another person. Like, I see guys who will buy like these 2 little seater cars. And I'm like, what fun is that? Like, I want to be with people. I want to pile it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go have a picnic. You're going to take you and your friend for a picnic? That's nice. I mean, you want to do that. If you like one-on-one picnics, that's cool. But I like to have, when I lived in Italy, what I loved about living in Italy is I get a group of my friends, like 8 of us and 9 of us, and we would go into the Borghese Gardens and have this amazing picnic. Some of us would bring art easels and we'd bring poetry books to write in, and we would just listen to music and listen to all kinds of French music and we'd bring food and we would eat and we would talk and we would laugh and we'd tell our stories and we'd talk about our things that we want to manifest in our life. And, it was just so wonderful. But the thing that was wonderful about it the most was the connection, right? And I think that we really need to take introspection on connection.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, honestly, the planet Earth is all about connection. Gaia is the great connector. She's all about connection. So if you don't learn connection within yourself and within your social group and within your global community or your community that you live in, the city or whatever it is, and you don't have connection with that, like, most people don't even know what type of trees are outside their window. They don't even know what the local animals are in their habitat around their homes and around their life, but they can tell you where Starbucks is. I mean, go figure. The point I'm making is that you know how to get your coffee on, but you don't know what the squirrel is in your tree and you don't know what tree it's sitting in. That's because you know how to make connection. Making connection is about finding out what you're connected to. And that's all and everything. And so, come on now. Let's just, let's just rev up the love a little bit more. We're 2019. Okay. This is the year of clarification, acceptance, allowance, and recognizing what it means to truly be in a space where we're operating from our highest level of authenticity to those energies, right? So acceptance, ability to accept each other, accept each other's ways of living, and being able to, how can we co-live and co-adapt with people that we don't understand their cultures, their behaviors, or their reasons why, but still love them unconditionally. Allowance, which is be able to let the universe fill you up instead of you thinking that you have to go out there and hustle and muscle it. Get in alignment, get in allowance, alignment, allowance. Allow the good things to come in your life. Allow prosperity in your life. Allow love into your life. Allow new friendships in your life. Don't put rules and restrictions on your shit. Like, oh yeah, well, no friend of mine is a friend who won't take me out to lunch. Well, guess what? That means you're going to be limiting the value of friends that can come into your life. You very value, you're like you're a limiter.
Yeah. No limits.
It's like
no
the rules. People got rules.
All of these rules, I'm starting to really, really feel just like the major amount of limitations that people put on themselves. And it's ridiculous. It's like, it's uncomfortable to look at it. It's like, why do you do that to yourself? It's just such a disservice to you and the planet. Like, stop putting yourself in a goddamn box. Like, just can't anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend the other day who was visiting from Texas, and he had made a comment about me being bisexual. He's like, oh, but you're bisexual. And I'm like, I'm going to step it back a little bit and just going to let him talk. And then it's like, you're not going to label me. You're not going to put me and define me in a box. You don't know what kind of sexual I am. I'm soul sexual, baby. You don't even know what kind of sexual energy I am because you don't know where I'm going to place that sexual energy. I don't just have sex with humans. I have sex with spirits too. You know, I make love to spirits. Yes, I lay in bed and they share their energy with me, and all of a sudden I start vibrating in bed and having orgasms. And my friends are like, "What is going on?" And like a spirit just had sex with me. But if I tell people, they think, "Oh my God, what are you talking about, Shaman Durek? Do you have sex with spirits?" Yeah, I have sex with spirits and angels and other beings and other lovers of mine that are in heaven that come and share their light into my body, and it is orgasmic. Okay. So I'm not going to let people put me in a box and wrap me up and stuff like that. It's not going to happen, because what it does is it limits my understanding and their understanding of the greater I that can exist.
Yes. It's like we like, you just limit all expansion.
Yeah.
And this is a big year of expansion. It's like, just expand and blow it up. And that all comes from connecting and really being, I keep getting all these messages about really, really blowing up the present moment, just being here and enjoying every minute of where you are. And of course, always, there's always a bigger picture out there, but it's like really being here and enjoying it and creating better things and bigger things in every single moment. It's like, that's life to me. And it's not limiting. It's not like, oh, I can't do that because of this, or not. It's like, you're literally like, we're talking about like, you're all one, like pull in some more fucking universal energy and you just get more energy.
Yeah, that's why I call us giants. That's why I tell everyone we're giants.
Yeah.
Because really, if we really think about it, I don't know if you've ever seen like those old movies like Thumbelina and all that with those like little tiny people.
Yeah.
That's what we look like to a lot of beings in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Where we really come from, we're actually giants.
Yeah.
We're way taller and way bigger than this body. And we actually had to seismograph ourselves down into this little body. And so it's very interesting because, we're already in the factor of the idea of playing small. And then you have a system that wants us to play small. And then you have teachers who want us to play small. And then your parents want you to play small. And everyone be safe and don't point fingers and don't do this and don't climb trees and don't this and don't that and and get more smaller. But we're already small. By coming into this body, taking on this biological spacesuit when we come from a place where we're giants is something I can't tell you. Like, I remember there are times where I would have glimpses of my giant energy. One time I was meditating, all of a sudden I felt like I was like 10 feet tall, and it freaked me out as a kid. And I was like, oh my God. And then I like pulled myself back. I was like, what was that? And the spirit said, that's actually, you're bigger than what you would experience yourself to be on Earth. In Earth, you're really small and tiny compared to some of the other beings that are out there. And where you come from, which is the realm of light, you're giants.
Wow.
So I always say we're giants.
Oh my God. When you said that, I had this deja vu moment, and I don't remember when it was or where it was.
Deja
I remember,
vu?
I remember seeing myself grow like that and then come back.
Yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of people have like little moments of that, of their giantness, and it's interesting how the system that we live in wants us to get smaller than what we are, what we already have made ourselves by being in this human body.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that this human body, we got to shit, we got to eat, we got to sleep, we got to do all these things. Where we come from, we don't have to do any of that, right? We're pure giants. We're walking giants of light. Right.
Oh.
And we're builders and architects of other universal kingdoms and other universal spheres of consciousness, which allows other beings to continue. And that's the infinite space of the quantum levels of the universe that exist, that we are orchestrating every time we open our mouths. Right. So I always tell people, open your mouth with some sense. Like, don't just open your mouth and say something. Open your mouth and know that you're creating something. So like, say something to create something. Don't say something just to say something. Like, say something to create something. So like right now, let's create. Everyone who's listening to this podcast right now is getting a level up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Like a knock out of the box. I feel like a burst of creativity.
Yes.
Releasing any limitations of it has to be A, B, C, or D. You have to be gay, straight, whatever the 5 options are in all areas of life. Like, there are so many options that your mind maybe hasn't even thought of. Have you ever thought of having sex with an angel? Have you ever thought of all of the infinite possibilities that are available? Level up.
I love you guys right now. Just keep going. Send it out to him.
Exactly. It's time to level up, family.
Yeah.
It's time to level up. It's time to level up. It's time to level up, family. It's time to level up. It's time to level up.
Get it up.
Yeah.
Subliminal messages.
Why not? I mean, it's not even subliminal. That shit is like right up in their face.
Yeah.
That's like level up, blinking everywhere they go. They see the mirror, they level up. They go in the car, level up. Every time they eat the food, they see a thing glowing on it saying level up. It's time to level up.
Level up.
And we offer you that level up right now.
Yes.
Right here on Elevate the Glow. We offer you a level up right now. You are leveling up just by listening to us. Did you know that? That's how sick it is.
Yes.
Done.
Done. It's over.
Yeah. And it's not like sick, like flu sick. It's like sick.
Yeah. Of course.
Just to be clear.
Just to be clear, we got no flus here.
Don't take that flu shot. So, yeah, no, I feel like it is like releasing the grump.
The grump.
The
Yeah,
grumpiness.
that's good. Yeah, the grump.
Releasing the grump.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like
Britt and I
that.
talk about this a lot because this happens.
You know,
A lot.
I mean, people are looking down at their feet. I'm trying to say Happy New Year's. They're looking at me like I'm batshit crazy.
Well, you know what?
We got to connect. We have to talk and share smiles and connect with each other.
Crazy is the new normal. You do know
It
that,
is.
right?
It
Right.
is.
Mhm.
So crazy is the new evolutionary. It's like crazy truly is the new evolutionary process to be able to come outside of the void of bullshit and get into infinite space, right?
Yes.
It's the rocket fuel you need to have. You can't be on Earth right now and not be a little crazy.
So true.
Right? But if you try to contain that crazy, like if you need to jump up and down right now, then do it. And if you need like to open the window and be like, and the neighbors are like, keep it down over there. I'm crazy. Okay? The thing is, anyone who's operating outside of crazy, those people are just basically what you call batshit crazy. Those people are batshit crazy. Those people are the Walking Dead because they don't even know they're alive. Because crazy people can shout, they can jump, they can do cartwheels, they can bake a pie, they can sing to the pie, they can hold their crystals and be like, ooh, yeah. And they know the crystals are responding. Like crazy people are the ones who create innovation, right?
True.
Einstein, Thomas Edison. I mean, the list goes on. You
Yeah.
know,
They're all a
Benjamin
little
Franklin.
crazy.
They're all crazy.
Yeah, they're all
Prince,
crazy.
like anybody
Yeah,
that's
Prince.
done incredible things and left incredible contributions has been seen as crazy.
Yeah, yay. I
Or
love
ahead
it.
of their time.
The crazy train. I like it. I'm on
I
the
like
crazy
it
train.
too. I've always loved Britt growing up with Britt. She was always like the crazy friend, and it was like I just needed to be around it.
Yeah.
Like you got to surround yourself with some crazy people too. If you're not really getting into the crazy, it's like surround yourself with people and get into it.
Yeah, you have
Be
to.
with it.
You
like
have to.
ride with their train and like see what it feels like because it's way more fun.
Those waters are better to swim in than the other type of waters.
It
I
is
can
so
tell you
much
that.
more fun.
There's like
Oh.
sparkles and colors and all kinds of things. And you might even find a little baby pig in there
You
somewhere.
might. Mm-hmm.
Or a goat
Or a goat.
that can give you milk just by squeezing it next to your bed. You don't even have to go to the store.
Come over here, Billy.
Yep, I agree. I concur. We have to add a little bit of craziness. Seriously.
We're going to get you a goat for your birthday.
I'm going to put that goat to work. I'm going to be like, okay, goat, look, here's the deal, okay? All right, here's the deal. You give me some milk for a little bit, and then I'll give you to a family that you can help them just love their kids and just be like really great on their land.
Perfect.
Because it's
He
good
would-
because the goat
yeah.
eats, you know, and
Yeah.
they eat all that stuff that needs to be eaten so that there's new topsoil that gets
Yeah.
formed up. So it's like they're serving a purpose. They're doing it.
It's going to be the
Everyone-
traveling goat.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like everyone has that whole idea of like, you know, like I think you were talking about earlier, you were saying like, you know, you had your retreat and like there were these demons and energies that were like coming out and stuff like that, you know? And it's like, I always find it very even how people are just like adding those kind of like labels to their experiences. You know, like even like today I was doing a shamanic healing and then, you know, and the person was like releasing and shaking and all this stuff. And they're just like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And I'm like, okay, let's change your words to eye-opening. Okay, this is eye-opening. Oh my God, I can't believe this. It's eye-opening. Okay, go back to eye-opening. It's like we have to really rephrase how we put energy onto things because darkness uses that as fuel to maintain its structure. And so if we keep adding on to the idea that like dark spirits or demons, then every verb or idea that demons have been associated to then falls under that alignment. And then we create fear. And then fear is what fuels the world of darkness. Remember, we are middle plane. Darkness is the plane that feeds off of middle plane beings because they don't know how to operate in the field of love yet.
Yes.
Right. And so they use fear. So they keep invoking fear and keep getting you to react. And then you keep reacting and you turn your light into mud. And then they can eat that mud and build their world. Right. And so what we need to do is stop creating mud with our light source energy and keep it light and bright all day. Light bright. You know what I'm saying? Light bright all day, every day. Light bright.
Yes.
So if somebody is coming into contact with a darker, like underworld energy, how would you tell them to sort of remove it or interact? You know,
laugh your ass off. Laugh like you never laughed before. Laugh at the darkness, and what it does is it takes the darkness into the light. The darkness cannot handle joy, ecstasy, pleasure, bliss, laughter, and unconditional love and acceptance. It literally turns it back to its original form, which is light. So whenever there's like, when I tell kids, like just laugh at the darkness, laugh at it. And you know, all the times people are like, laugh at the darkness. Yeah, because you've been taught to be afraid of it. And the movies you've been watching have been increasing that fear, which is all created by the dark beings getting in the minds of those writers who made those films. So you can keep seeing more scary things, you know, and the more scary things it plays with your imagination, and your imagination is your creative station, right? That's as Walt Disney, you know, what I love about Walt Disney so much is because Walt Disney talks about magic, but true magic is your imagination. It's the place where you create as a god. And so if you are operating from this place of filling up your God station with all these creative things you could be thinking and bringing into life, but you're filling it up with scary movies and scary things because you have an incorrect understanding and you keep labeling darkness as this monster and this demon is a right? Then you are literally like robbing yourself of your own light, because what you're doing is you're basically saying, here's my light, here's my light, here's my light. And the thing is, we have to become a much more conscious society of people who actually start to think and going like, wait a second, doesn't darkness want us to get angry so it can get stronger? Doesn't it want us to be afraid so it can get stronger? Doesn't it want us to react so it can get stronger? Yo, I'm not going to do that. Matter of fact, I'm down with that. I'm not doing that anymore. Like that's down, like not down, like in cool down, like that's down, like bring it down, like put it away, like put it in the trash can kind of thing, right? It's like, I'm going to laugh at it. I'm going to give it love. I'm going to dance right now. I'm going to shake my tail feather. I'm going to get up and do an oogie boogie dance, right? You know?
Ooh, so scary.
You know, I'm going to do a dance. I'm going to shake my butt and everything in front of the darkness. Be like, you know? And like what is going to happen is the darkness is going to run. Because darkness can't feed off your light unless you distort it. It needs you to distort it first so that it can feed off of it. If you keep your light bright, it can't distort your light. And so therefore it will move away from you. You'll have less darkness in your life because darkness will see you as a threat. It'll be like, oh, like a mosquito has a mosquito repellent. You'll be like a repellent to darkness. Every time you walk into someone's house, the people will get annoyed by you and get agitated if they have darkness in them, because the darkness is like, she's here, because you are not going into fear. You're not going into reaction, and you're not going into, oh my God, what am I going to do? You're going into, I am the quantum creator source of unconditional love and playfulness, bliss, joy. And I am here to laugh, to dance, to sing, to paint pictures, and to ring a bell. And that would dispel darkness immediately back into the light. Ring some bells.
It can't touch you. It just can't touch you.
Become untouchable.
You can't, it's like, and you throw love out all over, and it's like, it just can't touch you.
Yeah. Darkness tried to come in your room and put you into a paralyzed state. You start laughing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, you get unlocked. You're like, oh my goodness. Wow. I can move my arms. Something's not holding me down anymore. Yeah. It's scared. It's running. Trust me. It's running. It's moving fast. And they don't have legs, so they fly, like they float, like through the walls and stuff. They're like, one time I was at a friend's house and I saw this thing and it knew I wasn't playing. I was like, ah! And it like took off and I got in my astral body and like chased after it and it was trying to dodge me and stuff through other people's homes. I was like, let me tell you something. You ain't gonna get away because I'll multiply myself. And all of a sudden I multiplied myself into 10 people and caught up to it. I saw it in all different angles. And I was like, boom, got you. And then it stood there and it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, I'm going to give you love. It's time to come home. And I gave it love and it turned back into its original form. And it was this loving being. And it said, thank you. I appreciate you bringing me back to who I really am. I love you and I'll see you in heaven. And I was like, I'll see you when I'm squared away on earth.
Right. And that's
Wow.
what the darkness wants.
Yeah.
It really does deep down want to be transformed back into the light. So
Of
it's like,
course.
so it's doing them a favor by giving them love.
Yeah, but they can't just ask you to do it. You have to be willing to do it. That's where consciousness comes in.
They have to experience it. Yeah.
They can't just be like, oh, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
no.
Please? Could you just love me? They can't. Because they
can't.
can't forgive themselves for what they did when they had a human body.
Okay.
So what they need is for you on your own conscious will, which is your free will, to decide to love them
Regardless.
And then that makes you freaking powerful. I mean, you're talking straight up power for the hour times tower. Power.
But if you think about that, like physically too on the planet, it's like, think if we did that to actual humans that are, in a lower state of consciousness,
That have
they
that
need
energy.
to be loved and they need to be seen.
Yes.
And it's like they return back to what they're really here for.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
It's not
It
just
is.
from a spiritual, like not from like a spirit perspective. I feel
And you
like
can even take it one step further. Every time people keep talking about the polluted water, the polluted earth, you're giving power to the darkness to keep polluting it.
Okay.
You could just simply say, I love how the waters are getting cleaner. I love how people are becoming more conscious. I love how people are waking up and taking responsibility and not being so entitled and really honoring the earth and giving more love to the earth. And I love how the plants are getting healed from them. I love how the waters are getting healed. I love how there's healing happening in the water right now, that the water molecule of H2O is expanding with powerful healing energy. That is how you deal with anything that is an adversary against the light, because it's against the light, but you're not against it. And you give it love and you give it the truth and you give it light, and all of a sudden the light immediately goes into it. That's called dropping vortices. A lot of times people like a friend of mine, we were walking in this one neighborhood, it was kind of ghetto-y, and he's like, wow, look at this dirty streets and he's ghetto. It's like, I'm not going to put my energy on that. That's what darkness wants. It wants to keep that place like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I love how people are starting to notice this area and starting to bring in new businesses and cleaning up the streets and stuff. And I did my part and picked up some of the stuff on the trash and put it away, and then all of a sudden, 2 years later, I come back and that place is got a Ferris wheel. It's got it's Dumbo in Manhattan, but I lived there at a time where there was just one little Mexican shop across from my loft that only had pupusas and had 4 songs from Selena on the jukebox.
Oh my God.
And the streets were always dirty. It was dark. You get off on York Street Station and you'd walk 4 blocks to my loft, and I was on the 10th floor, and there was nothing there. But every day I would go through there and I see people moving through here. I see businesses opening here. I see all this kind of stuff. And when I came back, it was like, my friend's like, do you remember when you said that? I was like, yeah, and look at it now. It's like you drop vortices. You got to drop vortices. You got to be a vortice maker. That's the truth.
I like that a lot.
That is powerful. Yeah. I feel like that's the key, is bringing the love and bringing that energy that's propelling us forward versus being stuck. Like when I think about people talking, and I say it too, like the waters are, so polluted, the trash, it's so dark and heavy. So it just perpetuates that kind of energy. So it just is so powerful when we can see the future of what we want and just make that belief massive, because we say it and we present it out, and more people believe it, and more people talk about it, and it just creates it.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe it, I feel like it's just keep saying it and create momentum around it until you start to believe it. Fake it till you make it, I feel, right? That's what I would do if I didn't fully.
And you're not even faking it. You're just saying it.
You're just saying it.
And learning how to trust in your will of word.
Okay, I like that actually, because it's not that. Yeah, then there's no shame around it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Your will of word is where all things come from, right?
Yeah, so you just start saying it, and then it's just and you're just moving on. You're moving it with it, and now your whole reality, the waters are healing every day, and
Yeah.
the land is healing. And so
My
then,
body.
then everyone you
Your
come
body.
into contact with, now it's just now like
Have you
affecting.
heard? Yeah.
Have you heard that the waters are healing?
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, okay, now I can feel that too. And everyone gets in this like fucking kumbaya land that's happy.
That's it. And it just sends a symphony of healing power into those waters. And the same is for a friend. Like you got a friend who's acting out of character. I love how my friend is always coming from a nurturing and loving place and respectful and grounded and honors himself and has let go of their pain. Just speak against that which you see. It's like no one wants to hear you talking about all like the pain and the suffering and so forth, you know? Like as the dormouse says, that's not my cup of tea.
I love that. And I feel like
you heard it from the dormouse. Not my cup of tea.
The dormouse, the bunny, the goat.
I mean, that's my personality, really.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, like everyone doesn't even know that every day I wake up in the morning. One of my favorite things as a kid was Alice in Wonderland, and I actually really talked about it once on my podcast. But I always talk about like every morning I get up, I think of 6 impossible things, you know, before I have breakfast. And I love all the quotes from Alice in Wonderland, and I just love characters. And when I was a kid, you know, I used to always answer with things like with the rabbit. So like my dad would say something, and I'm like, "That's not what the rabbit said." You know, my dad was like, "What?" Who are you talking about? The rabbit? I'm like, the rabbit said that. You know, and I just like it because it keeps my little boy happy and keeps my inner child going and just keeps it like, you know, just keeps it play, you know? Like,
yes.
You know, I'm like, sorry, the dormouse said that's not my cup of tea. My friend's like, what? So you're not going to the party tonight? Like, dormouse said it's not my cup of tea. You know, and it's just fun. Like, why do we have to? That's why I like making up my own words and stuff like pop rocks and things like that. And like, you know, like when people talk about like negative things, I call it junkery, like that, all that junkery, you know, it's because I want to make up my own words. All these words that I speak anyway came from some system that built those words and put them in a book and said, these are the words you're going to learn. I don't care. I'm going to make my own words up and I'm going to make my own fun. I'm going to make my own world. I'll have my fun. That's what I'm going to do.
I love it. We all need to like play more and do that. It's like, have you ever thought about making up your own word?
Why not? It's a shamanic way. It's very shamanic, by the way.
Yeah. So we need to jump in puddles and have more fun and play and dance. And I think especially what you were saying about the fear can come in when people are having spiritual awakenings and they're ascending and they can feel this like scary fear for whatever reason that comes in and holds them back down and makes them feel like they shouldn't play or they can't have fun or they can't, you know, not be grumpy. And I don't know, it's just interesting to hear the way that you describe it. And I see it all the time. People just let that fear of their own power and their own ascension and their own happiness push them back down, you know?
They need a fear bell.
Yeah.
Like my mom always said, honey, get a bell. And whenever you have a great idea, ring it. And whenever there's fear, ring it. And boom, done. Because you ever like, you know, if you listen to like a bell, like if you have this amazing idea, you just start ringing the bell, what it does is it tells your mind, oh, be alert, be alert, be alert. And then boom, it connects onto that energy. And if fear is there, it's like fear, you're like ringing the bell against the fear. Boom, the fear gets dispelled. Yeah. You know, it's like blow a horn, you know, make a word, butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. You know, like I'm just saying, it works. I kid you not. Like, I mean, it works. I teach kids who have fear of the dark and fear of like boogeymans and monsters in their room and stuff like that. And I had this little girl and I was like, just say butterfly 3 times and it would go away. And she's like, butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. And she's like, oh my God, it works, Shaman. And I was like, yeah, of course it did, babe. Like, so, of course, my love.
Amazing.
It's little babies. She's cute. She has a butterfly, 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 and boom, done. The thing is, like, you get to decide where you wield your power and how you wield your power and what words you wield your power through. But don't just let the system teach you. Like people, like the system has the word failure. You think I'm going to even accept that as a part of my vocabulary? Absolutely not. And if someone says to me, well, it's in the dictionary, I'd be like, is it really? Oh, well, you know, failure exists. In your world, does it exist? I would even start acting as if they're crazy when they say it to me.
I love
you know,
that.
Like sometimes I'll get interviewed in press and stuff like that, and they'll ask me like a question, and I don't even answer it. Like they'll be like, so, you know, one person asked me once in Sweden, they're like, so, how much money do you have in a bank? I go, you know what I love about life is that this beautiful energy, it's like blossoming flowers every single day. And he's just like completely gone, thrown off track. You know, I don't need to answer your questions. It's my world. You're in my world. Hello. You know, it's like, I mean, if I wanted the mouse told you out, dude. You know, it's like, I don't have to answer your questions. I don't have to answer you at all. In fact, I have friends who will say things to me and I'll be like, you know what? That's a very interesting thought that you just asked me. And I'm going to meditate on that. I'll get back to you tomorrow. They're like, what? I'm like, I am going to sleep on it. I don't have to answer you just because you asked me something. So we have to learn to realize that, we have to realize to learn, whatever. The point I'm making is we have the choice to decide how in which our universe works for us. Right. And I don't have to play the game of what everyone else is doing is what I want to do. I was the kid in Sesame Street when they're like, which one of these kids are doing their own thing? That was me. Everyone was jumping rope. I was riding a bike. Everyone was riding a bike. I'm walking down the street with a balloon. Everybody is like making pasta and I'm listening to my jukebox. You know, it's like like the thing about life is don't be like afraid to like create your own world and have fun with it, right?
Stray from the pack.
Like you talk about elevate the globe, right? So when I think of elevate the globe, I don't think of just the globe of the planet globe. I think about my globe, like the globe that I live in, the world that I live in, the words that I use, the people that I connect with. All of these things are part of my world. You have your world, I have one. When we come together, we'll bring our worlds together, right? So it's like, if I'm gonna keep my globe elevated the way I need to elevate my globe so that I get the best, most amazing experience of me as Shaman Durek in my life. So when I lay my head down to rest, I'm smiling. Like the other day, my niece and my nephew went upstairs and saw me sleeping in my room and they were like, oh my God, you were so cute. I was like, why? They're like, when you sleep, you have a smile on your face. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Cause that's how I sleep in my world. We sleep with smiles on our face, you know?
That's amazing.
Cause to me, it's like, this is my life and I'm going to make it the best life that I can. And if that means I got to change some words around and delete some vocabularies that were told to me through dictionaries of that world, I'm going to do it.
Right. Right. And then you come together with friends and all your worlds come together, like you said, because we were talking about socializing earlier. So it's like, we still do want to be socializing with others, but it's like, well, maybe I like the way you say one word. So I'm going to pick that up for my world.
Yeah.
I don't have to do the same things you do.
That's right.
And we don't have to have the same worlds because it's boring. It's boring. Like I've got all this sparkle and happiness over here and you can come in and visit whenever you want.
Yes. That's what heaven is like. That's what heaven is like. When I died, that's exactly what heaven was like.
Really?
When I died, one of the things that I love the most about being in heaven, which when I got to see my family and everything, is that everyone gets their own universe.
Oh.
So all I had to do was think of a friend and immediately I was in their world. And I think of another family member and I was in their world. Like one family member, my uncle, he lives on top of this mountain with this beautiful house. He doesn't have to sleep, but he chooses to. But he lives on the top of a mountain and he's got beautiful clouds and birds and a beautiful scenery of the mountain below and all that. That's his heaven. And then I went to visit my friend who died, my friend Josh Yortz, and he had like water. He was all at a beach. It was all water. And he was living on the water. And that was his heaven. It's like everyone has their own heaven. That's why I think it's so amazing when everyone's just like, this is what heaven's going to be like. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know. Heaven takes shape based on your consciousness of joy, pleasure, and elation. It follows your highest bliss and creates the world in which you feel most comfortable with. Everyone sees heaven differently because of the fact that it follows your bliss. And so it's the same thing. It's like, no one wants to live in the land of same.
No.
That's why I tell people, don't get in a relationship with someone who's just like you because it's boring. It's
so boring.
Yeah. Stepford Wives boring, like with the capital snoring for the boring.
It is true. And
It is.
Like I've been finding myself attracted to people with similar energy to me. And it's nice to have conversations with. And of course I always get something out of it, but there's lack of energy exchange in terms of like, I'm not learning as much and there's not as much of a pull because it's just too similar.
Yeah.
Too much of the same.
It's too much. Same. I call it land of same.
Yeah,
Same,
and that's
same.
okay.
The land of same.
Oh, I thought you said land of same.
So the land of same.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's like I appreciate them and all of what they're doing, and it's just more like, okay, we got what we needed.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend. I was at his house the other day And we did like a cold plunge in his backyard. His name is Aaron. He's a wonderful guy. And, and then he was like, okay, let's run around in our underwears around Venice area in our underwears. And I'm like, barefoot? He's like, yeah, let's just run around our underwear, barefoot around nature. Let's go jogging in our underwear. And I was like, cool. Never done that before. But I don't want to live in the land of same, so let's go.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's run around in our underwears around Venice area and jog. And so people are watching us barefoot, jogging in our underwears. It was really cool. It was really cool. The tops are off and we're just jogging, and we're just like, yeah, in our underwears. And people are watching and they're just like watching us. And I was like, I don't care. Because I never did that before. So I'm in his world now,
Definitely.
And his world is is all about, Wim Hof, and he's like ice plunges and running around, like jogging in your underwear and sunbathing and like, climbing trees and hanging upside down and doing all kinds of aerial yoga and all that stuff. And I don't do that in my life. I take cold showers, but I'm not jumping in a freezing cold, pool. But it was amazing. And running around in my underwear and being outside with him. And I always like being around him. And I sat back and I looked at him. I said, you know why I love being around you? And he goes, why? I said, because you're different.
Yeah. Yep.
You're not, it's not like you're being me. Like, I'm me. And he's like, that's why I like hanging out with you, because you're so unique. And I said, and you're so unique. And we're not doing the same thing. We're not in the land of same. Yay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That is just like inspiration. I feel like that everybody can.
Who wants to be in the land of same?
Not me.
It's like the planet of apes. It's like
It
crazy.
gets really boring.
It does.
Like, how many times can you do the same thing over and over? That's what my life felt like in San Francisco. It was like, how many times can I go to brunch on a Sunday and watch a football game and drink a mimosa? I can't do it anymore.
I have a meltdown.
It was awful.
God, yeah.
I was like, it literally felt like I was banging my head against the wall. I was like, there's got to be more than this.
Yeah.
There's got to be more.
But then I think, like, for somebody like me who's kind of always just been different, I had to get over the criticism that can come from that and be okay with being different. Because I think just a lot of times the way that I speak or, things that I do can make people say a lot of mean things or feel a different way. So I had to kind of rise above that and learn that, you know what, if that's the price I have to pay for being different, then it's not that big of a price tag. It's, it's much, it's not worth it to me to just come back down to same land because of a little bit of backlash, criticism.
Yeah, exactly. And
but
that's
it can be a
and
little
that's
hard.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why they do that is because they are trapped and they're imprisoned in their own prison of Escobar. Right? They're inside their own. I just had to throw a Harry Potter punch in there. They're in their own prison and they feel uncomfortable that you're free and they're in prison. So they want to get you back into a prison so they can feel safe. Mm-hmm. Right? But I love when people try to feel safe around me and I use the word try because that's exactly what happens. They try because I'm about blowing up spots. I like ruffling feathers. People have heard me say it many times. I will shake you. I will wake you. I will make you uncomfortable because that is what needs to happen. If my presence makes you uncomfortable, so be it. Get ready. Someone made a comment to me. There was a person who'd been like, a lot of people put like, make like, hate remarks to me or write me hate mail or do like hate YouTube videos and things of this nature, whatever. And I just like, I'm glad you got freedom of speech. I mean, that's cool. That's, that's whatever it is, what it is. But the thing is, like, what you don't understand is that I see myself succeeding because I'm ruffling your feathers. Because obviously you're getting upset and that means change is occurring. It may be happening in micro jumps, but it's still happening nonetheless. I didn't come here to be everyone's piece of peachy pie. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come here to walk around and be like, everybody loves Shaman Durek. No, they don't. And that's okay. And you don't have to. I was a kid in school that everyone couldn't stand because I was coming in doing things that people thought was weird. But you guess what? All of a sudden they were like, oh my God, I want my pants like that too. Or I want that cool ripped up shirt that you have. Oh my God, I love that Depeche Mode outfit you made. How did you do that? Did you spray paint that? Did you make that? Whatever. The point I'm making is that you're not going to stop my show, my flow, the way I choose to live my life, because in my world, because you have uncomfortableness. Get uncomfortable. And I tell people all the time when they write about me and do things, I'm like, get ready, because I'm about to make it more uncomfortable for you. So get ready, because the thing is, we want people to get blown up by us just being us. That's how change occurs, right?
I love that. Yes.
Yep.
Right?
No, I mean, absolutely. It's the only way. At least how we've chosen on this planet to deal with things, I feel.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what all great leaders always have people that love and hate them.
Yes, exactly.
And it's fine. And you just kind of have to get over it.
You got to ruffle those feathers.
Yeah, you got to ruffle them.
Ruffle them up. Pop some balloons.
And that's with everyone. Like, it's like if anyone.
And it's good for the people whose feathers are getting ruffled too.
Yeah.
Because they're creating a new look for themselves.
That's right.
A new little look.
Yeah, exactly.
Shedding some skin.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like the friendly raccoon said, I'm here to blow up some spots.
I love raccoons. I don't know what it is. I just think that they're so cool.
Oh, he's so cool. The friendly raccoon is super cool because he just like goes in there and he just like sees people who are like trying to be like, stuck in a bubble, and he just pulls out his magic dynamite and he throws it on them. It's like glitter bombs. It's like boom. And all of a sudden they're like, ah! And then all of a sudden they're like dancing to 70s music, They're like dancing. And then the little raccoon looks and he's all, yeah. And then he goes on.
That's so funny. I picture them more like the raccoon in my world. He's more just like, he comes in and he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm going to take all this food and I'm hungry and I'm just a little bit like doing whatever the fuck I want. I don't know. That's what I like.
So you got a honey badger raccoon.
A little bit. Yeah. That's kind of how I view the raccoon. I'm like, he's like this really, he's just super cool. He's like, I'm just going to take this trash over here and make it something really beautiful. And I'm going to eat some stuff and I'm just going to hang out. I don't know. I just think he's kind of wild.
Honey badger.
He's a little wild.
Yeah. In your world, your raccoon's a little wildin'. He's wilding out.
Yeah, he is. And he doesn't care.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't care what anyone thinks.
Yep.
He gets on top of your house and he's just like, I'm going to sit here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Make some noise.
Yeah, see, my raccoon doesn't follow that human thing. My raccoon is a spirit that comes with dynamite, with glitter bombs.
I like him too. I'd like to meet him.
And he like sits with a cool pack on. He walks. He's cool. He's got his like. It looks like he's wearing glasses, but it's not. It's his fur. And he's just all like, "Yo, you've been too serious here. You guys taking things way too serious." And he reaches in his backpack and pulls out this pink, beautiful, like neon green, blue glitter bomb, and he lights it up and he throws it at you. All of a sudden, he goes kaboom! And all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh my gosh, should we go out and have some fun?" He's like, "Yeah."
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he's a friendly raccoon.
Oh my God. I feel like you're going to create like an amusement park or something with all your little characters.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do a children's book.
You should.
Yes.
You should put that raccoon in there.
Yeah, I'll do a children's book. I'll call it, let's see what name will I come up with. It'd be called, Welcome to Planet Earth or The Reason Why I'm Here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you just write it up tonight?
Yeah, Evie needs to read it now.
I know. I should. I think it would be kind of fun. I just knock it out.
Just knock it out.
I like knocking things out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read you some of my book before you ladies leave my house.
Yes.
I know.
Shaman Durek are already written or in the process of writing and completing. You're finished.
Manuscript has been turned in.
Oh, we're so excited.
Book comes out October 6th.
Oh my gosh. Wow. 2019.
Yeah. And I'm going to be on The Doctors February 1st.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
What is that going to be about? Can you say?
Spirit hacking.
Okay.
Showing the doctors that energy can be created out of midair and transferred to another part of the body. And then some tips on how we can actually raise our consciousness and lower cortisol in our body.
Oh. I feel like everyone needs to tune into that.
Everybody needs that.
It's on cable, right?
Yeah, CBS, I believe.
CBS, yeah.
CBS,
okay. So you can see it on. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have a show.
I used to sell commercials in that show.
Oh, wow.
So I know all about it.
Interesting.
Brit's on the other side.
Yeah. And then I have a Discovery show that's out right now that's in New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. And I have to get more information, but it's basically it's called California Innovation. And I'm a spiritual segment that shows that they did a whole documentary of my powers. So they brought in a Persian woman and they had me demonstrate on her because she's super skeptic. She had like pain in her body, this and that and the other. And they had me demonstrate my abilities and so forth and show how shamanic energy and power works without taking plant medicine and so forth. And it was really powerful. Like the woman,
wow,
it was really intense. It'd be interesting to see how people respond to what they actually see. Being the fact that they don't cut any scenes. But I know they're doing a premiere here in next month. So I'd love for you ladies to come to the premiere.
Yes.
Yeah, please let us know.
Of course. I wouldn't, come on, we're fams.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
This has been so fun. I feel like I
fun.
have honestly like 5 or 6 more questions, but it's
we gotta
okay.
wrap it up.
We'll do
You
another
can do whatever
one.
you want to do.
We'll do
As
another
the
one.
Dormouse says, you're invited.
I love your dormouse. My dormouse needs to talk to yours.
I'm gonna start making up some words like whackity whack whack.
Yeah, definitely. Do it. It's
Don't
so
come
much
back.
fun. It's so much fun. Like when these people get my book, they're gonna be like, whoa, that's so interesting. I have like so many words that like goes with things that I feel about things.
So exciting. Well, is there anything else that everybody listening needs to know about?
Let's see. Learn a new language this year. Take up some new arts and crafts or learn some new skill. You can never go wrong without learning a new skill and putting it under your belt. Learn the piano. Learn to play guitar. Learn how to cook. Learn a new language. Like level it up.
Level it up.
Get lit.
Yeah, stay lit on that lit train all the time, every day, all the way.
All right.
With that, we love you guys.
I love you.
Love you so much.
I feel like,
You know what I say for my word for love?
What?
Amala Ashe.
Oh, I saw this.
Ooh.
Amala Ashe. That's pretty. What is
Amala
that?
Ashe.
So I asked the spirits, I'm getting tired of saying I love you to people.
Yeah.
And I said, I want love to have more written code in it. Right.
Ooh.
And so I said, what's a word that I can say? And the spirits came to me one morning and said, Amala Ashe. Say that. And that means I love you unconditionally. I accept you unconditionally. I honor you in your power and I support you in your legacy. And everything that you are is a gift to my life and the gift to the world. Amala Ashe.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. I will be starting to say that as well.
Amala Ashe.
Amala Ashe. It feels very nice to say it. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels.
I feel it. You can feel the energy.
I can feel the
Watch,
energy.
I'll say it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Amala Ashe.
Yeah, no, I can feel it in all my chakras.
Isn't that crazy?
Mhm.
That's what they said. They said they're going to create something that just penetrates into every aspect of your being.
It hits the throat first, and then it hit the heart, and then it went.
Yep. Say it to me so I can feel it.
Amala Ashe.
Oh, yeah. It goes through my whole entire being.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Amala Ashe.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's like such a loving thing.
That's right.
It feels so nice and
Yeah. Amala Ashe. You don't have to say I love you. Just say Amala Ashe.
Okay. I love this.
Yeah.
And then even though you've already been on the podcast, we just have to quickly ask you our last 2 questions.
Yeah.
So right now, what is your favorite way to elevate yourself?
Right now, I get up and dance to 80s music.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, what's your favorite jam?
Well, the song that I've been listening to a lot is from Cure. And I also like Pet Sematary, even though it's like, it's kind of like a weird song, but it's like, I don't want to be buried in Pet Cemetery. I jam out to that all the time, but I jam out to everything, anything 80s. Like, I like the song, My Name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor. I live upstairs from you. I love all that stuff. So I don't even really have a favorite song. It's just like any 80s jam comes on, I'm completely for it. And of course, I love country music. You can't go wrong with country.
Oh, I love country so much.
The best song, if you ever want to know about my personality and you want to learn about me, listen to, it's called Cold Weather.
Cold Weather. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
From the Zach Brown Band.
I love Zach Brown Band.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen them in concert.
I know, I'm jello.
Jello.
My assistant Sam was all, I'm at the Zach Brown Band concert. You're not here. I'm like, thanks. I really love you. Go eat a carrot. Go eat a carrot.
Ashe,
A little bit of chicken fried.
Yeah.
A cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And the radio on.
You guys are so cute when you sing together.
We like to sing together.
I love Zach Brown Band. I love it. Little bit of chicken fried. A cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fits just right. And the radio.
You guys sound, I feel like you could do a little duet.
I love it. I love country. I love country.
Me too.
I mean, it soothes my soul. You understand what I'm saying? It soothes my soul.
Okay.
And our last question always is, you have a microphone in your hand and now the whole world is listening. What is the one thing you want to leave everyone with?
We are in a revolution. The revolution is about ending pollution and bringing a solution. In order for that, we need each other, all of us together. One family, one soul. We can do this. But in order for that to happen, you have to speak to yourself with truth and love. You've got to tell yourself every single day how powerful, how amazing, how blessed, how giving, how living. Shift and lift yourself with your words, and you will be ready to stand and deliver the light that we need you to deliver, because there's only you and there's only one of you. And don't ever think less of yourself from this day. We need you. This revolution is real. We've come to shift this system and change the paradigm. And in order to do that, we need each other. I love you, my sister and brother. We got this. Stand strong. Together, we stand. We never fall.
I love it. And woo! That is a mic drop.
Time for Lobby Talk.
And we're in the lobby. Woo! Down in the lobby. That was a fast drop, right? To the lobby. Back to reality.
Back
the
to
new
reality. The new reality. The new reality that you created, that was activated in that episode,
by
just
listening.
by listening.
By listening.
So we
It
can
was
really...
a little wacky.
I know. You know what? It's just so fun to be with Shaman Durek. And, you know, we just really created a vortex, all of us together. And, you know, it's so important to have fun. Whenever I'm around Shaman Durek, I just can't stop laughing. And it's the best time. And, you know, although we go deep,
You both have your inner child come out to play together.
honestly,
Both of you sing and dance.
we were all playing. We were doing the drums. We were dancing. We were having so much fun after we recorded.
I love it. It was great.
But really, I mean, so much of what we talked about in the episode is so important, and we really hope that it inspired you guys to, just tap out of the box.
Get out of the damn box.
Right?
I can't say it enough. Get out of your box. And when you think you're out of the box, get out even more.
Yes. Like if it makes you uncomfortable to hear about, you know, having sex with angels or making up words or whatever it may be, you know, just kind of notice that with love and be like, that makes me uncomfortable. Like maybe it could expand my perception, right, of reality.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about in the lobby. It's like, how can we expand and open our perception to more of a multidimensional, you know, limitless one.
Right. And this is when we can actually do this. This is when a lot of tolerance and compassion comes in for the planet, because you now can respect everyone's perception as their own. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with it and they have to agree with yours. You just have your own perceptions. And that's where you find your spirit tribes around you, the people that have similar ways of viewing things, but it's never a me against you or us against them. It's just, you know, you share similar ways of looking at things, and everyone can teach you a new way of looking at something. And even if you don't agree with it.
So true.
It's just opening our minds and realizing that everything that we say inside of our heads is not reality. We can change it in a minute. If you want it to be the reality, great. Keep saying it. Keep talking about it. If you don't want it to be the reality, stop fucking talking about it.
So true.
You know?
Yeah. And I love what we were talking about specifically around just humanity as a whole. And you know, what he was saying about homosexuals coming onto the planet to like balance out the population. And for me, you know, someone who is already procreated, it brought up some questions that I was kind of like texting Shaman Durek about, like, okay, dude, so what am I supposed to do? because I understand all of this. But their soul's trying to come through me. And, for me too, I've always wanted to adopt since I was younger. But yeah, kind of furthering that conversation, Shaman Durek was just saying it's all about just making sure that you have the time and the energy and the resources to really create leaders, and create, human beings that are really able to thrive, down the road, long after we birth these people into the world, like in 2050 and beyond. So, it's just something more to think about. But yeah, how can we really elevate the people and the souls coming onto the planet? Because that's really what's going to elevate the globe for the future. So everything we're doing, we really have to be thinking from a futuristic perspective. And to me, like getting outside of the box, getting out of your six senses, thinking about other possibilities and ways to live is really how we're creating a better future.
Oh, we got some stuff going on though. We have an event going on, by the way, here in LA at Rama East with Elizabeth from By Erica Elizabeth. So we'll be teaching some Kundalini, and then Elizabeth will be going through a whole tea sipping ritual with her elixir. So you guys will actually get to try her elixir. So we're excited to host that. And yeah, what else we got going on? Oh, we also have our 5-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge starting on January 27th.
Yes.
It's going to be starting Sunday morning, January 27th. We're going to be kicking it off day 1. And with you for 5 days, really sharing how to elevate your vibration to really start the year off in a really good high place, a more expansive place. And what a wonderful time to do it in Aquarius season, where we're changing perceptions and we're really elevating and tapping into our higher destiny and helping humanity. And what better way to do that than start with yourself?
So true. So this is a free live 5-day challenge. We'll be together for 5 days covering different topics. You'll get recipes, you'll get yoga and meditations, and it's really a great way for this community to come together and elevate the collective energy. So definitely sign up. We want to see every single one of you listening there with us. So we will put the link in the show notes below, or you can head over to elevatetheglobe.com and click on the programs and the 5-day challenge. All you have to do is put in your name and email, and then you'll get all the resources you need to join us.
Yay. So
we can't wait.
We cannot wait. This is going to be such a fun week together. So anyway, with that, you guys, we love you very much. We thank you for listening. We ask if you have a favorite part of this show to screenshot it and send us or tag us on Instagram at Elevate the Globe. And if you haven't actually reviewed the elevator yet, we would love to see a review from you. We love to read them all. And if you screenshot that and send it to the elevator at elevatetheglobe.com, we will send you our magic morning checklist for an amazing morning.
Yay. So remember, for this first 3 months of the year, we're doing podcast episodes every other week to put our attention in other areas and also still connect with you guys. So check out our next episode in 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. We love you so much. May the pure light within you guide your way on. Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.
Thank you, Shaman Durek. We love you.
We love you, love you, love you.